As the public aggression against Netanyahu government's judicial reforms mount among the Israeli citizens, many of them are planning to leave the country. The citizens stated that the government's ignorance of the matter, despite sustained mass protests and vehement opposition from the top judicial officers, is irksome, thus forcing them to leave. Notably, Israeli lawmakers had passed the contentious bill limiting the Supreme Court's powers to strike down the government's actions. It was sought by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, maintaining that the court had become insular and elitist and overstepped many of its decisions. The passing of the bill has triggered the entire nation to come on streets. The Israeli public mentioned that many of them fear that the judicial reforms would harm the nation's security, and several believe that it might result in a breakout of civil war. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu defended the bill, calling it a minor correction. Dismissing domestic and international criticism over the bill, Benjamin stated that it is silly to call the judicial reform as an end of Israeli democracy. He added that the reform, which entails a shift of certain judicial powers to the elected government, was an effort to bring the pendulum to the center.
Well, first of all, we're not trying to weaken the Supreme Court. We're trying to bring balance between the three branches of government, which is the essence of democracy. In Israel, over the last 20, 30 years, the Supreme Court arrogated a lot of the powers of the judiciary and the executive. They can basically nullify any decision made. That doesn't happen anywhere on the planet.
Significantly, the protests against the judicial reforms have been going on since January this year, when the bill was announced. However, now the passing of the bill has triggered nationwide protests.